Mr. Lungu died whilst the benefits had been removed. You cannot reinstate benefits on a corpse.
That one hits differently. That one is a very powerful point. Here it's safe to say we've been schooled. We've been schooled. We are here. It doesn't matter who you are in society, what position you hold, how rich or poor you are, or the level of education you've attained. This point here that Japh Man made here, we need serious introspection. You can't reinstate benefits on a corpse. No, that one is a very powerful submission. In fact, I'm assuming Japh Man wanted to say this in Patois. And he was just going to say, Your Majesty, you can reinstate them benefits upon the corpse. That's bomboclat, man. Bomboclat. Serious bomboclat. No, that one is a very powerful submission. Unless if you're just looking at it from a Mimingalato point of view. But that one is a powerful submission.
The legal position is preserved as at the time of death. The legal position as at the time of death is that Mr. Lungu had lost his presidential benefits. So those could not be...
What about his right to be buried? He lost that. He is not...
Okay.
No, he lost the benefits that came with being the president of the country.
The protection, the office, stuff.
Yes, all of those.
But the right to be buried and every attendant benefit that flows from passing on as a former head of state.
No, he has a right to be buried, but the corpse doesn't have any rights. The wife has a right to bury the deceased, but the wife has made that decision. The widow has made that decision. What you cannot have, and this is the oddity of the argument by the Zambian government, if the rights and benefits, because the corpse has no rights, so you cannot say a corpse has a right to be buried. A corpse has no right. The corpse is not a legal thing. So if the benefits are removed, those benefits are removed on a living thing, on a living organ. Once life ends, the rights also end.
Okay, here's the thing. I know when it comes to this case, we can agree to disagree on a number of things. But I think if there's one lesson that we can learn, is that we should put humanity first before anything else. Okay? The submission that Japh Man gave about reinstating the rights, reinstating benefits to a corpse, that one has hit me different. That one, if it has not touched you, ndimwe type yamene mumapoka na vana vanshiwa na vawidow katundu. Yeah, if that one has not touched you, nishiwe bia mulibe mutima muliwe. And this is what we always emphasize, that let's learn to treat people well whilst they're still alive. Now, this is not about whether or not the HH did anything or not. In the first place, what the government is trying to do right now is just follow the law. Yeah. This is not even about HH, it is not even about UPND. Because in the first place, when that President's Benefit Act was being made, the UPND was not in power. We need to understand that fact. I know some people will say, no, it is the UPND. In the first place, UPND was not in power when that particular provision of the law was being signed into law. So even in terms of revocation of these benefits and rights of a president, it is not HH who signed. When a president decides to rejoin politics, then their benefits are withdrawn. It is not HH, it is not the UPND. We need to understand that part. But what does this entail, even for you people that have got the responsibility to make laws and policies for this country? It simply means, before you can all rush into saying, oh, those in favor say aye, and those against say nay, z. You need to thoroughly think through the consequences of these policies and laws that you are actually making. Don't just look at how they benefit you at that particular moment when you are in power. Think of the repercussions of that law when you are out of that office. Because sometimes you can be making that law to just mend a certain patch at that particular moment, but think of the future. What repercussions does this law have? Or how would people use this law against us when we are not there? I'm assuming that this law was being made to make sure that it is targeted at people in the past that had intentions to come back into politics but were former presidents. And then we said, no, if you want to come back to power, then we revoke, we withdraw the benefits. And then here we are. And then people will be there, no, it is HH, it is HH. It is not even HH, it is not even UPND here. It is just what the law says. When you come into politics, the powers are withdrawn, the benefits are removed. That is what the law that we made as a country says. So from now, we should start thinking of how then do we restructure this law and see to it that it does not cause these problems that we are seeing in the future. And also the need for us to look after another whilst we are still alive. Politics should never come in between your life and my life in terms of, the way we argue and do things. There should never be a time when politics is used to make sure that I'm pushed in the corner. These are the problems that we have caused on ourselves. It's all because of politics that we are here. But this point that the Japh Man gave, for me, if it hasn't touched you, then you need prayers. But this is what we always say, let's treat each other well whilst we are still alive. Let's give each other flowers whilst we are alive. There is no benefit, there is no reward in talking good about people, in doing good things about people or for people when they are long gone. The reinstatement of the rights and the benefits of President Lungu when he's gone don't mean a thing here, so it doesn't mean a thing. That's what Japh Man is trying to say. On this particular one, I agree with him. I seriously agree with him. So please, to our politicians, let's do the right thing. I beg in Jesus' name. Ngati pali mairo sunatengepo kali konze pali vivi nachitika mukoti munja. At least let's all get to this point. Let's ensure people enjoy their human rights while they're still alive. Let's make sure that people enjoy their benefits when they are still alive. Let's make sure that we make good laws and policies that will benefit this country and help this country to forge ahead and not go 10 steps backwards. Only that way will we develop as a country. But if we're always going to look at everything with political lenses, we're not doing ourselves a favor. In talking about the benefits, going to buy your mother and your father a plot, Blue Sky Real Estate. Those are the benefits that they should have from you as their child. Don't wait for them until they die and then you start building things in their memory. Build for them when they're still alive. Go and buy a plot called Blue Sky Real Estate. The number is showing in the screen. Bye.